Hey guys, it's me, it's Nadix, and today I'm gonna show you how to get, install, and use CandyBot for DarkOrbit. It's a very simple bot, probably the best free bot you can get right now as far as I know, and there it's a little difficult to get it sometimes, so I'm gonna show you. Okay, open up your browser and I'll let open I'll let PVPers. Um, then just search for CandyBot, open up the first link, and go to last page. Then on the last page, just scroll down to this link, so almost all the way to the bottom, and just click the link and confirm this, and close that. Click download file, fill the captcha, and download. As simple as that. Now, I don't need to download that, I already have it. So you just open up the folder that you've extracted and you should have all these files there. Don't run it from the zip file or whatever because it needs to be extracted into a folder, but it can be wherever you want. So just open up the CandyBot. Um, I made a random account for this for the sake of this video. So let's start it. I hope I remember the credentials. That would be a little stupid. Oh, there we go. Great. So now let's open up, as you can see. Um, so let me explain the interface very quickly because it's essential to understand what each of those buttons does. So that's I think these are obvious. It's the start and stop button. This one will become pause button when you start it. Um, you're not gonna use that very often, but I mean, you'll figure out. This one is very important as it opens up the account in browser so that you don't have to log in. You can just open it this way. Sorry, this is random Czech server. I haven't done on global servers, so it's not in English, but obviously the stuff in DarkOrbit doesn't really matter too much as I'm gonna explain everything. Then there's basically the second version of this button, which opens up the map, which is also important for setting up the view. So what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to put this, I mean, I'm not really sure about it, but that's the way I know it works. You're supposed to make the minimap the smallest possible and put it to the right bottom corner. And you go to the settings and make the settings the lowest and always remember to use the 2D. Now, right here, I don't really think you have to make any changes here, so I'm not going to make any changes here. The way it's by default, it should work. So basically, you need to have bonus boxes turned on. You need to, oh shit, you don't need drones, that's for sure. You need to have the player names turned on for NPCs, and I think that's about it. I don't really think. Oh yeah, you need the backgrounds for Windows, but everything else is just up to, yeah, pretty much nothing else is important. So I don't need this. I don't think there will be any more settings, so I'll just close the map. But as you can see, it's starting, but we don't want that yet. This is for switching configurations, but there's really no point in that because it doesn't do that automatically, so it doesn't matter. These options, these two options are completely pointless. They don't do anything. What you want to set up though is probably this. If you're reviving on port, you want to set this up to like 1.5. Otherwise, if you're reviving on base the way I'm going to do this for the sake of this video, you can just revive immediately. Of course, if you're doing bonus boxes, you want to turn on your pad probably. Um, these are self-explanatory options. The Palladium feature here, um, it hasn't been really ever developed to the point where it would work well enough, so I would not recommend you using that. There's this Galaxy Gates building thing, but I wouldn't recommend you to use this because it's shitty. Sometimes it doesn't register that the gate is already built, so it keeps on clicking. Sometimes it thinks that the gate is built, so it stops clicking when it shouldn't. I wouldn't recommend you to use that. So what you want to set up if you're going for NPCs, you just want to set up like something like this. And since there's no way the bot escapes from enemies, I would recommend you to use the bot only on the X1 map until you're like level 8 or something, and where when you're shit, when your level is already over level 8, you should go to X2. That's the only way it's gonna work. If you're strong enough, if you're like full it already, you can go to X3 or X4, but it's gonna be a little more difficult. I mean, the circling option is really shitty. I wouldn't recommend you to use that, but if you're going to X3 or X4, you're gonna need it. So that's that. Because these things they don't work. So when your HP goes down or your shield go down, the CandyBot doesn't register that. It thinks that it's full and it's not gonna do anything. It's just gonna let you die. So this is one option. This is good for like leveling or something. Otherwise, if you're going for bonus box, you just turn this on. It's faster. I mean, if you know that there are no event boxes, it's faster to turn it on this way because it's gonna work slightly worse if you turn it on like all the way like this. It's gonna be a little slower. If you keep it like this way, it's probably gonna be the fastest. Um, to use the cloak CPU, you need the cloak CPU in the hot bars. Um, so yeah, if you have that, you can use that. I don't have that obviously. So yeah, and I think that's pretty much everything you need to know. So you just select the target map and then you go. It knows how to get from map to map, which is pretty cool. So you can actually revive on base, and it's gonna get you back to the map. But there's no option for reviving on spot. And when you revive on port, it's gonna wait until you have full HP until it goes away from the port. So if you do this on PvP, it's likely that someone's gonna just stand on the port and they're gonna kill you over and over and over because you're not gonna be invulnerable anymore, so they're gonna kill you. So this is not very efficient for bonus boxes if there are people in the PvP during night or whenever you bot. So yeah, now you just start it and pretty much goes around. There's nothing really interesting to that. It's just flying around. As you can see, it knows that the HP is not full, but it just doesn't run away. It knows that you're dying, it just doesn't do anything. So it's a little shitty, but yeah, that's the case. I don't think it knows how to buy ammo, so you need the auto ammunition and auto rockets CPU in your ship, or you have to buy enough to, I mean, basically survive for long enough. And as you can see, it collected the box. As you can see here, it's collecting more boxes, and right here there are some statistics, but they don't exactly work. I mean, they work differently. They're not gonna update yet because I think that they are updated from the page rather than from the map. So I think it updates like every 5 minutes or something. So you're not gonna know, or maybe 10 minutes. I don't know. It updates from time to time, but it's not very accurate. I mean, sometimes. There's also help, which basically says what I just said, but yeah. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you for watching and enjoy, I guess.